Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about something that is not present in the market right now, but there is going to be something very important for all the industries today and tomorrow. That is an innovation audit framework. Innovation is all around us. It happens on daily basis, whether it is on individual level or an industry level. But we are not able to see it or even measure it. For that purpose, we are looking at making a framework which allows the companies individuals and big organizations to look how they are functioning in the various areas and how innovation is helping them. Let us first look what innovation is about. Innovation in its modern meaning is a new idea, creative thoughts, new imagination in the form of device or a method. Innovation is also often viewed as application of better solutions that need new requirements and articulated needs or existing market needs. Innovation is related but not same as invention, as innovation is more appropriate to involve the practices implemented in an innovation to make meaningful impact in the market or a society. Or you could simply say innovation is simply commercialization of invention than are various inventions in the world right now, and there are new happenings every day, but there has never been a way to quantify these innovations or even to check whether innovation going awkward, bad, or are gonna turn around something great for you. For that, what we need is honest innovation product. For that, the one design and innovation audit framework, which is nothing but analysis of different aspects of an organization's current innovation capabilities. Its process examination, the key indicators determine their strengths and weaknesses. Further, the result of audit will be highlighted by any barriers to the innovation that might exist in the company or might be there in the future audit. Next, we have the innovation audit framework, which is on the three axes: types of innovation, nature of innovation, and the locus of innovation, which is made of the 108 cubes by considering 9 into 3 into 4. And if there is every company that fits on the one of the cubes, like introduction to now the nature of innovation is all about talking about the nature of innovation. There are three types of the innovation: sustaining innovation, disruptive innovation, and efficiency innovation. Sustaining innovation, it seeks to improve the existing products. It does not create new market or values, but rather merely develop existing ones. It is the innovation when there is existing product of a company, and when the company tries to enhance the product by adding more features to it. For example, the iPhone we consider. Apple has done in the over past years that after launching the 5s, they have added just features in it. They had does not change much features, and so they do not have much innovation in that product. Like they have added just the features of the camera, in the camera touch features. So this is that they have done in the sustaining innovation. Next is the disruptive innovation. Disruptive innovation alters the improves a product or a service in a ways that a market did not expect, but discovering new categories of the customers and lowering the cost. You can create a new market, or where you can come with the new product and you disrupt the whole market by making it more accessible for the larger population and more affordable for the population. For example, Model T of the Ford. What Ford did was they made the Model T more accessible automobile and more accessible to a larger population in a very affordable and a cheap rate. This is how they disrupted the whole ecosystem of their entire automobile. Efficiency innovation. It is often assumed that the form of process improvement or a more efficient business model. It is enables the business to simplify and streamline the products and their existing products at a lower cost, and sell their products or services to their existing customer at lower price. In efficiency innovation, what the companies do is they make their operations more efficient, as in by using their same resources, and they are able to bring out the same amount of the product just by lowering down their cost of operation. For example, we take what the Toyota, what they do is they implemented just-in-time manufacturing. What just-in-time manufacturing actually do was they it reduced their working capital requirement in the business, and is how they created the efficiency
Thank you,
ecosystem.
Pranav. Now we come to the next axis of innovation audit framework, that is types of innovation. Professor Schumpeter was the first one to talk about types of innovation in 1934, where he talked about four types of innovation, that was products, services, processes, and customer channels. In late 20th century, Professor Clayton Christensen of Harvard University has given a pyramid structure for types of innovation that includes design and marketing, product, services, process innovation, technological innovation, networks innovation, market, new customer channel, management innovation, business model innovation, and industry innovation. And the level of radicality and difficulty to implement increases as we go down the pyramid structure. So let's talk about these types of innovation one by one. The first type of innovation is design and marketing. In this, an organization basically tries to innovate on how a customer is experiencing or consuming the product or services. This kind of innovation is basically used by companies to revive a product life cycle of an existing product. The next type of innovation is product innovation. In this, a company tries to create a new product or innovate on their existing product. For example, Apple added cellular capabilities to their iPod and launched the first ever iPhone in 2007. The next type of innovation is service innovation. In this, a company innovate on how a service is delivered to the customer. The best way to understand is by looking at the example of OTT platforms and how they revolutionize the entertainment industry. The next type of innovation is technological innovation. In this, an organization try to adopt and implement the cutting edge technologies that are in the market to compete with their competitors and have a competitive advantage in the industry. The next type of innovation is the process innovation. In this, an organization tries to innovate on its operational or business processes to run them to efficiency. For example, Ford innovated on their assembly line process to cut cost and also better the quality of their product. The next type of innovation is markets or new customer channel. In this, an organization try to tap new markets or try to introduce new ways to reach the customers. For example, the e-commerce websites have taken over the retail industry. The next type of innovation is management innovation. In this, an organization try to adopt management practices that will make their system more efficient and effective. The next type of innovation is business model innovation. In this, an organization tries to innovate their revenue model or how they are reaching to the customer. The best example of this is the social networking websites, as they are serving free to all the customer across the globe, but their revenues are coming from the advertisements. The last type of innovation explained by Professor Christensen was industry innovation. It is the most difficult to implement an industrial innovation, as in this an organization tries to enter into a new industry that does not exist beforehand. So it takes about 10 to 15 years for an organization to establish that industry. For example, cloud computing was introduced as a project in early 2000, but 15 years later, it is now an industry on its own. Coming to the next axis of innovation audit framework, that is locus of innovation. The locus of innovation talks about where the innovation has taken place. While comparing to other two axes, locus of innovation deals mostly with the internal factors of the organization, that is, changes in some internal factors through business ecosystem, organization, projects, and small group drive the innovation for an organization. So let's understand these locus of innovation. The first one is business ecosystem. In this, a company tries to innovate the entire business ecosystem, that is, including all the stakeholders, which are suppliers, distributors, customers, government, etc., and try to create a new ecosystem that will work more efficiently. For example, PayPal revolutionized the banking and financial system when it was introduced through its one-click payments. Earlier, people used to write checks, go to the bank, and then collect their money. But it was all changed after the introduction of the PayPal. The next locus of innovation is organization or organizational structure. In this, a company tries to innovate on its structure, that is, change it in such a way that It will provide a healthy environment for all the employees to come together and innovate. The next locus of innovation is the projects. The best way to understand is through the example of Google. Google always try to employ highly talented people in most of their projects whose prime responsibility is just to focus on the innovations, practices, and how those projects can run for the efficiency. The last locus of innovation is the small groups. And the best way to understand is through all the startups that we see in our times. The simple model of a startup is a group of people, a small group of people, just come together with their ideas, skills, and capabilities and try to create something that is not already there. Now, Manika will talk about Zoom video communication, that is our organization for the study.
Yeah, so thank you, Somil. Now, after understanding what is innovation audit framework, we will focus on a specific organization that falls in one of the 108 cubes. For this purpose, we chose Zoom Communications. So, Zoom video communication falls at such a point on the innovation grid where the nature of innovation is disruptive, the type of innovation is service, and the locus of innovation is organization. So now a little bit introduction about Zoom communication. So when world went into lockdown back in early March, the word Zoom quickly became a household name. The company's user base skyrocketed since the onset of the pandemic, with over 300 million video call participants flocking to its platform every day during the beginning of the lockdown. So Zoom founder Eric Yuan saw his net worth soar by almost 400% in 2020, and he focused intently on the user experience, customer satisfaction, and happiness of all its stakeholders. Now, there's a brief timeline. So, in 2011, Yuan officially founded Zoom and was able to raise around 3 million to bring his idea to life. At that time, its competitors were Skype and Google Hangouts. In 2013, Yuan created the first iteration and launched Zoom officially in January 2013 after beta testing. By May, almost after 4 months later, it had reached 1 million participants. In 2017, venture capital powerhouse Sequoia invested 100 million in the company. It then was valued at 100 crores for the first time, and it became a unicorn. Uh, Zoom went public in April 2019. On its first day on the public markets, Zoom was valued at 16 billion, and the company stock surged by 72%. So here we will understand why Zoom can be called a disruptive innovation. Clay described how low-end disruptive innovation takes advantage of markets in which existing products offer more performance than many customers want or need, which can be called the performance surplus. And here we can take the example of Cisco WebEx. Meanwhile, Zoom recognized the right experience and integrations that smaller companies were looking for. Example, getting rid of choppy videos on desktops, user friendliness, easy purchasing, etc., causing a disruption at the lower end of the market. So, if the pandemic had not occurred, Zoom would have continued displacing the major incumbents, and the incumbents would continue to move up market until they were pushed out finally. But the pandemic triggered a new market disruption for Zoom, which enabled them to move into a massive new consumer base across the globe who never used video conferencing before. And now we have reached a point where even big tech giants like Google and Apple are taking inspiration from Zoom.
Locus of innovation, organization. Achieving innovation requires the coordinated efforts of many different actors and the integration of activities across specialist functions, knowledge domains, and contexts of application. Thus, organization creation is fundamental to the process of innovation. The ability of an organization to innovate is a precondition for the successful utilization of inventive resources and new technologies. Scrum saw organizational changes alongside new products and processes, as well as new market as factors of creative destruction. Clay describes how strategy development process can be applied through the lens of three phases. The first phase, market creating phase, determining product services for the job to be done. This requires an emergent strategy. The second phase is sustaining phase. The product is developed and a proven model focusing on beating the competition is necessary. This requires a deliberate strategy. The third phase is efficiency phase, where mature products with a focus on lower prices and increasing volume of sales. With Zoom in the sustaining phase, they are executing their successful proven strategy with a deliberate strategy. They have the service infrastructure, core competencies, and business model to scale based on their winning formula. However, as they accelerate their well-oiled machine with their proven recipe, they need to juggle that deliberate approach with an emergent strategy to handle unexpected factors. Now, so Saurabh will take over from here.
Now we look at the type of innovation, that is service innovation. When Zoom launched its full service operations in 2013, there were already existing players in the market like BlueJeans and Lifesize, but none of them captured the market quite the same way that Zoom did. And there are three main aspects to the success of Zoom. First is the simple product. Zoom provides a simple yet consistent user experience across all of its platforms. And at the same time, it provides a lot of features like video conferencing, online meeting, group messaging, webinars, and also it provides high quality face-to-face video and screen sharing capability. What this means is that it is ideal not only for small scale meetings and customer interactions, but also for large scale training exercises and marketing operations. Next is the freemium model. Before launching its operations, Zoom did an extensive research on video conferencing and online meeting, and what it found was that typically a meeting lasted around 45 minutes. So they set up their freemium model such that the first 40 minutes is for free. What this does is that it attracts a lot of customers to come to the platform, and once they are using the platform, as it is quite easy to use and understand, so they want the premium experience, so they are willing to pay extra for it. Next, we look at the horizontal SaaS. uh, if a company is not using a software platform like Zoom, then they'll have to set up their own servers if they have to do video conferencing. Not only that, they will also have to update and maintain the software and also provide security for the software. What Zoom does, it alleviates all of this pressure from the company, and then it is Zoom responsibility to provide these meetings over the internet. They update and maintain the software, and they provide security for the software. What this does, it significantly decreases the cost for holding the online meetings for the businesses, and this is especially important for small scale businesses. It alleviates the technical aspect of the video meetings, and the businesses only need to take care about hosting and uh, scheduling the meetings.